Hello you guys, it's me. I hope you guys are doing well. This is Lise Perez, your master embodiment coach and author. I hope you guys are having a fabulous week so far. I just noticed that my hair is a little bit wonky on one side, so please disregard it. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about when one door opens, because this is quite a really cool topic, quite an empowering and inspiring topic. And so utilizing our experiences, utilizing what's been going on with us, that's, the topic just kind of came to my heart today about, talking about when one door opens, right? What happens, in the fact that, if we walk through it, what happens, and if you disregard it, what happens, that kind of thing. So if you like this video, stay tuned, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you are here. I'm super casual today because we're moving in a couple of days, so I'm ecstatic. I'm super excited. Found a great house here, and so it's gonna be completely amazing. So my next lives, with starting probably next week or so, will be in the new house. So I'm pretty darn excited. So again, if you guys like this video, pop in the comments below. Let me know what you think. But let's get to it, shall we? So, have you ever had? I'm sure you have, right? But I can't really assume. But have you ever had a situation that you were faced with when you're kind of faced in a crossroads, right? You're kind of faced in like a fork in the road that you're not sure what to do with it. You want to go one way, but then you think of all the pros and cons, and then the other way you think of the pros and cons, but one way, either which way that you choose, one way tends to kind of balance everything out, right? There's more pros and cons on one side, or there's more pros and then cons on one side, and there's more cons than pros on one side, right? And it kind of reminds me of like a kind of medieval type of movie, you know what I mean? When there's the guy in the horse, whether it's a soldier or whatever, or they're going to save, the prince is going to save the princess, and he's on his horse and he's galloping, and he crosses the fork in the road, right? And on one side is really, really gloomy and kind of dark and freaky and scary, and then the other side is light, and it's like all heavenly, and it's like and that clearly would be the most obvious choice. But see, the dark part, the one that's kind of scary and that's freaky, not really inviting, that there just seems to be kind of like more cons than pros, right? And so it just ends up, it's the It's on unplanned for India?
No, it's just really bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you keep going, but just make your adjustments.
I can't, it's not possible. That's what I was asking before. Okay, it's still kind of dark.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, bear with me. I'm just going to turn on this side. There we go. Okay, that's better. Apparently it was a little dark, so I apologize for that. But that's what happens when you go live. But anyways, okay, so, crap. I gotta gather my thoughts once again, one sec. So, anyways, what I was talking about, so yes, so the prince is going to save the princess, and he goes to find he comes to a fork in the road, right? And the one side is dark and creepy and not so inviting, and the other side is as I said, it's light, it's heavenly, it's awesome, it's so inviting, so encouraging to walk through. That would be the easiest choice. That would be the most simplest choice to go to, right? The comfortable choice, if you will. Now the other side even though it's creepy, is the shortcut to get to the castle. Now, more than likely, it's quite interesting because in almost every single movie that we've watched that has this type of scenario, the prince always goes into the dark side, into the one that's kind of creepy. Why? One, because it's essentially the shortcut, but the whole point is that they walked with no fear. They galloped on their horse with no fear. They went through because they had a vision in mind. They had a goal in mind to save the princess, right? Who's trapped in the castle, or with the dragons and all the fantasy movies. I have kids, so you'll notice that I reference a lot like that. And so, but they go into that side because there's no fear, and they just walk through. Both doors are inviting. Both doors, in this case, both roadways are inviting. But they go to the one that's not comfortable. They go through the one that's not comfortable because they don't have any fear in going through it, and they'll just do it because they're like, what? How bad can it really be, right? They walk with the fear, or they run with the fear. And so when one door opens, and there's going to be so many multiple doors opening, but the issue that happens when these doors open is that people, even though they pray about it, and even though they pray for the circumstance, or they pray for more financial abundance, or they pray for the relationship to be better, or they just pray for their business to get better, or whatever the case may be, right? And so, or like us, we pray to have a new beginning, a new opportunity in order to move to Mexico, and like literally a new beginning, a new opportunity. Now, what happens when that happens? You walk through without fear, and even though you pray about it, even though this all happens, God will open the doors, right, regardless, and then we'll question whether it's the right door to happen. We'll question whether this door is meant to be, even though we prayed about it. And we'll question the how, or like, okay, I didn't think that I would expect an answer so quickly, or I didn't think this would happen, or what, or and you come up with so many scenarios not to walk through that door. See what I'm saying? And it always happens by human nature. We pray for doors to be open, and when they're open, even when they're open a crack, we're like, okay, God, is this the right door to open? And we know it in our heart that it is. We feel it in our heart that it is. And most of the magnificent doors that are open for us, in order for opportunities to ensue, most of those doors are outside of our comfort zone, if you notice it. But even though we pray for them to be open, and they're open, and God's like, okay, here you go, like, here's a door for you, like, to walk through, we question it, and we're like, hey, God, is this the right door? Are you sure? Like, you start to question it. You start to question God. You start to question the motives. You start to question everything, because as humans, we're very unsure. We don't like to make decisions very quickly. There's some that do. There's some of us that just, procrastinate decisions all the time. We're not great decision makers, because even though we want to make a decision, we question all of the scenarios, every single one, and we pile scenarios on top of scenario on top of scenario, and then we're like, okay, and every scenario is pointing to this door that we prayed about, right? But we're like, is this really the right thing? And we'll find an excuse not to go through that door. And why does that happen? As I said, out of fear. We're not used to it. It's out of our comfort zone. And many times over, we'll let go of that door. Will it come again? No one knows. Will we pray about it again? Of course we will. But if we're not ready for that door to be open, if we're not prepared for that door to be open, then that door will stare at us in the face, and that's as far as it goes. It'll close before we've even made a decision. And that's why there's two things that can happen here. One, we need to make quick decisions, right? You take massive action as soon as you know that door is open, because even when you pray for it, when you pray for that door to be open, you know it in your heart when the door opens, and you know it in your heart when the door closes. You do. But we listen to other people subjectively. So we even though we pray about it, there'd be other people that can kind of tell us, okay, you know, are you sure? Like, you know, they start to question your motives, they start to question your vision, they start to question all the things, and so we're like, okay, well, maybe this is not the right door that we're expecting or that we're waiting for. And so once again, what do? We're gonna pray again, and we're gonna be like, okay, God, give me a sign. Give me, even though He could be giving you 5-10 signs in the face. If we're not prepared, if we're not ready, we're gonna miss that door. Even though it may be staring at us right in the face, we're gonna miss that door, and it's gonna close. And then all of a sudden, another one's gonna open, and may not be the grandest opportunity than the previous one, and then we're still gonna question that one. So that's why it's super important. When one door opens, you gotta, you know, it's always important to trust your intuition, of course, you know, to whether it's aligned to your purpose, because there's so many doors that open, guys. There's so many doors that will open for you in your lives, and there's gonna be some doors that are not great for your purpose, or that steer you in the wrong direction. You know, kind of have the squirrel syndrome and be like, okay, this door is opening. So let's just say, just a quick example here. You're an entrepreneur, and you're starting your business, right? And you still haven't gotten clients yet, but all of a sudden, there's going to be this door that's going to be opening, that's going to open. That it's like, okay, you know, you have a potential client, but then guess what? There's going to be another door that's going to open that is like, okay, we saw your resume on this internet site, and we're wondering if you can come for an interview. And you look at it, and it's, you know, kind of up in your alley, not necessarily on the entrepreneurial side, in your specialty and your purpose and your vision, but it's part of your expertise, it's part of your knowledge that you've had in the past, right? And so, and then it's going to be like, we like what we see, so would you like to come in for an interview? And that always happens. It's so cliche, and it's happened to me more times over. That I'm like, I want to start my business, I'm ready to start my business, and boom, guess what? Another door will open and be like, hey, Liz, like, we'd like you to come into an interview. What do you decide here? That's why you gotta, you know, you have to be set on your vision and your purpose, so that those type of things, those type of doors, aka the distractions, don't really phase you, because you know what you want, you know what you want to do. You know when the right door is going to open, and you're going to go through them without any fear. In retrospect, you're going to go through them and walk with the fear, even though it might be uncomfortable. You're going to do it anyways, because it's part of your purpose and it's aligned with your vision, right? Rather than go through the door and question yourself the whole way through, right? Because again, like, as human nature, we're always going to question ourselves. Even though we've walked through the door, we're going to be like, I wonder if this is the right thing to do. Like, are you sure it's the right door? Because, you know, I still haven't gotten a client yet, or I still haven't done that, but it's the right door. You just have to, you know, you have to tell yourself, you have to remind yourself, okay, this is part of my purpose, this is part of my vision, and it's aligned with it, and I know that this is the right door, because you do feel it. You feel it in your heart and soul. And you just, you know, that's your intuition telling you, and be like, okay, this is right for you. This is along the path. No need to get distracted with the job. No need to get distracted with another, you know, your previous purpose, right? Or your previous specialty. Like, you could be, you know, coaching women. You could be coaching women on relationships right now, and all of a sudden your previous specialty is like health and fitness, and or health and wellness, and then, you know, there's someone who's like, can you coach me on health and wellness? But you have a calling to coach women on relationships. That's the distracted doors I'm telling you about, right? I guess some people would consider it a test to see whether you're going to actually question whether your purpose is right for you or not, whether your calling is right for you or not. Yeah, people can think of it as a test. By human nature, we're going to think of it as a test. It's like, okay, the universe is testing me right now, and In a way, it could be. But you have to ask yourself, are you ready to pass that test or not? If you're ready to walk away from your previous specialty, that door, that distraction door that we talked about, and if you're going to walk humbly through the right doors, because as I mentioned, so many doors will open for you. So many doors will open. But the whole primary focus of this conversation is about the right door. That's why I said when one door opens. I didn't say when many doors open. I say when the one door opens. Right? That's when things become magical, and that's when things kind of get a little bit confusing and a little bit overwhelming for so many people, because so many doors will open in your face. So many doors will open and you're like, okay, I don't know which one to do. You just have to look at which one is actually part of your purpose and actually aligns with your purpose and with your vision, with your calling that you're going after. Because all of them might think, and that's the thing, so like people can kind of get confused at the doors because they all might align with your current purpose and vision. But one will align more than the other. And that's when we shouldn't get confused about it. So when you're clear cut and when you're crystal clear about your purpose and about your true calling, then you'll know which is the right door to go through, right? But again, when one door opens, another one is going to close. And that is on the other side of the coin, because when the right door opens, one will close, and you have to be okay with it. And most humans tend to be like, they start to question the door closing and be like, ooh, I should have walked through that one. I don't know about this one. You start to question yourself. You start to doubt yourself many times. But that's why when you're very crystal clear on your purpose and the gifts that God has for you, then you'll be okay with those doors closing. You'll be okay with it. And be like, okay, I know this is the right one to go through. I know this is in the right direction, and the other one is closing because it's not part of my specialty anymore. It's not part of the direction that I'm going, and so you just have to be okay with it without going back, because it's not bad to take one step back in order to take a few steps forward. It becomes a little bit around the negative context when you keep taking steps backward and you stay stagnant, or you get into a stagnant environment or a stagnant nature, right? That's when we start to doubt ourselves and question ourselves, because we'll answer every single one of the doors, right? And so many of those doors will require you to take a step backwards, and then another door will require you to take another step and another step backwards, right? But just that one, that's why I talk a lot about the power of one, because it is so, so, so powerful. And so just that one will help you take many steps forward. And then you can walk through without any fear and, without any judgment, and you'll feel good enough. You'll feel even more than good enough. And, that door will allow you to become a greater version of yourself, and it'll allow you to upscale and up level your life, right? And it'll allow you to, like, your business or your relationship to continue to be scalable, and it becomes an awesome thing for your life. So if you're going to take anything out of this message, understand that so many doors are going to open and so many doors are going to close. One, and I spoke about 2 points here, and the 2 points are this: one, being okay when those doors close, because something is going to be right for you, or the next opportunity is going to be the right one for you, the right opportunity is going to walk into your life. That's what I meant. And two, one of those doors will be the right direction for your life, right? And before we wrap up here, just a quick example in my own experience is that we had a potential client that confirmed to work with us a few days ago, and we were super excited. We were celebrating the moment, and we were awesome. And it was awesome because, you know, it was a project that we haven't even launched to the public yet, but yet you know, things just started aligning really good. And so and then she advises us today that she's like that she found someone else, you know, the less expensive individual, and she found someone else, and it just, you know, that just happens that way. And then she decided not to go with us. Now, by human nature, right, by our own kind of strength, we'll be like, okay, like, you know, you would get PO'd, you get frustrated, you'd be like, oh my gosh, like, especially in the pandemic, we were counting on that funds, and like, why would you do this to us? And right, you wouldn't take really a humble perspective. But then we had to look at this humbly and be like, okay, if this happened, if she decided not to go with us last minute, then she wasn't the right client for us, right? Then when that happens, see, the door closed, right? We thought it was opening. We thought it was going to be aligned to the purpose and the vision that we had for this project, but the door closed. We had to be okay with that and tell ourselves that the right clients are coming our way, right? The right clients are coming our way, and the universe is kind of testing us a little bit and being like, you know, get really clear on your purpose and your vision, because those type of things will not phase you, right? Because the right clients are on our way, are on their way to us, right? Our soulmate clients. And so while we could do two sides of the coin, one, she's not professional, and this, you know, this sucks, and we could have used the money, especially in the pandemic, and us moving and whatever. And then the second option is like, okay, then obviously she wasn't the right client for us. We weren't the right people for her, and that's okay, because we know and we appreciate it. We know that the right clients are going to come our way, that are coming on our way, right? So we had to look at these two sides of the ways, right? Just like in the beginning when I talked about the crossroads, right? The fork in the road. It's like, which decision are you going to choose? Which mindset are you going to choose, right? The negative context or this one? And I mean, we chose this one in the end, right? Because that's just how it has to be, right? Because we can't really get upset about it. I mean, you really can't, right? It's her decision, her business, and away you go. It's fine. But we know that the right clients are going to come our way when they're ready to come our way. Then we'll welcome them with open arms, and then we'll walk through that door, and we'll work together, and we'll have a beautiful relationship. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something from it. If you resonated with it, please let me know in the comments below what you think. I would be forever grateful, because I love to read comments. I love to, you know, I love to see your love. And of course, if you are going through something like this, then please as well share your experiences so you can help others, right? And because I like to use this platform as kind of like a community, and that we can help others. So that would be so awesome. And of course, as everybody says, like, share, and subscribe to the video if you love it. And thank you so much for watching. So we'll see you guys again soon. God bless you. Stay empowered, and